Hello and welcome to an episode that deals with employee and customer relations. I'm Swati Singh. I work as a guest lecturer at Delhi University and other colleges. I'm also working as a corporate trainer and a media consultant for various organizations. I have been with media for over a decade and have been teaching for more than half a dozen years. Let us see what we are going to cover today, meaning and importance of employee relations and customer relations. Pitfalls in achieving harmonious employee relations, handling customer grievances, role of public relations in employee and customer relations, forms of customer and employee benefits that public relations looks into, tools of employee communication and customer relations, problems and pitfalls in managing employee relations. To begin with, we shall discuss the first part called employee relations. For any organization, its employees are its spokesperson. Therefore, to have a congenial relationship with employees, it's a prerequisite for every organization. With their team spirit and skills, employees can create great organizational milestones. In fact, team spirit of employees clearly leads to improved production, employee motivation, customer satisfaction, and better business reputation. Employees provide the organization a shared vision, wherein the organization learns, regulates, and runs its activity with a shared understanding and perspective of their management and employees. In other words, if the corporate objectives of the business are not compatible with the personal objectives of the individuals working in the organization, no business or organization can succeed. Constraints in an organization. There is a growing mismatch between the employees and their jobs, simply because a large number of organizations often fail to make use of the skills, knowledge, and ability of their employees. In fact, the worker of today wants involvement and control over their work. Nonetheless, they are equally aware that their survival and individuality depends on the success of the company they work in. Barriers to employee relations. Misunderstandings between the management and employees might crop up due to various reasons. Some of them could be employees are not aware what others are doing in various departments. Employees feel that their opinions are not given value in the organization, so they are not interested in voicing their opinions. If employees are not involved in important decision making by the organization, they feel powerless and they lose interest in functioning and well-being of the organization. When employees are not valued for their work achievements or contributions, they start believing that they have no value. Employees don't have knowledge about the aims of the organization. They would not be able to figure out what to do to make their organization successful or what to do to increase the profits by a desired plan of action for the organization. Public relations plan of action for improving employee relations. Organizations, corporates, and managements have come to realize that changing values of employees cannot be ignored, as the life of the shop floor of the organization is revolutionized. No more are the employees restricted to hierarchical patterns and obliged to comply with unreasonable protocols. The public relations officer has to function as a change agent and has to be a person with deep understanding and maturity, with respect towards workers' performance and attitude. It is necessary for a public relations officer to understand the goals of both the organization and its employees and get the best out of both for the benefit of the organization. The public relations outfit must simultaneously cope up with the never-ending day-to-day public relations matters to keep an eye on the future direction of the organization.
When I talk about employee relations, I talk about companies which look beyond your basic needs in an organization into an employee's which do affect an employee's life. It could be your health, it could be a family, it could be the education of your children through scholarships. A lot of firms, a lot of corporates do offer. So that's the kind of employee relationship I am talking about. That is the kind of corporate anybody would love to be in. There are a lot of people who talk about that, even if the money is less, it's okay, but I want to work in a good firm. So what is a good firm? A good firm is the one which provides you all kind of facilities. They take care of all your needs.
The public relations action plan to tap the interest of the employee is development of the vision of future with the commitment and involvement of employees. The transition of the shared vision into an action plan for change and adjustment, and it also being smooth and flawless. Public relations encourages the employee's understanding of the aims and objectives of the organization, hence empowering the employee about this organization, policies, aims and requirements. Developing a greater appreciation of the common interest and mutual understanding between the various departments to muster the feeling of mutual interdependence between the organization, supervisors, employees, union, management and shareholders. The key requirement is also to make use of the skills of the employees. This would further contribute to the long-term development of the organization. Most importantly, the public relations officer ensures that he reports or provides feedback of all that is happening to the management from time to time, so that improvements and corrective actions can be taken and healthy employee relations are maintained. The problems and pitfalls in managing employee relations. All organizations do not understand the value of employee communication. They wake up to this importance only when something really wrong goes through. Therefore, they eventually end up losing the trust of their employees, especially when such companies indulge in layoffs and closures during financial breakdowns. Warning signs. Let's look at some of the signs we need to acknowledge when employee relations need to be critically relooked. Giving unrealistic, ambitious targets to the employees and asking them to do too much in too little time could backfire. Workers and unions are the key players in the organization. Therefore, they have to be taken into confidence during times of turmoil. Both the organization and public relations unit need to be very clear about the functions and powers of trade unions in order to communicate with them freely on key points. It has to be well appreciated that workers would surely criticize the organization and public relations plan. Howsoever, sincerely it has been drawn, and so this attitude should be taken with a pinch of salt. Public relations should appreciate the problems, requirements, expectations and values of the union representatives, which might or might not be compatible with the organization as such. Ensure that employees and their unions are involved in pivotal decisions of the organization. This would bring in the feeling of involvement, commitment, and thereby nurture a healthy relationship between the organization and its employees. The need for employee communication. Employee communication is generally handled from inside the organization, since a bottom-up approach is ideal as it ensures participation of junior employees. Onwards, the flow of activity flows from down to top, according to Reedfield. The key is to provide the employees absolute information about the working of the organization. Correct employee communication intensifies the interest of the employee in the organization. Steps to be taken by public relations officer. Create a work environment. A congenial work environment invites employees to the office. Everyone therefore looks forward to coming to work the next day. Nowadays, amenities and infrastructure is created to make workplace comfortable for the employees. Hygiene should be taken care of, especially in the washroom. Since the employees spend most of the time of the day in the office, they expect cleanliness and hygiene in the washrooms. Walls of the office are generally painted in soft colors, as it is both soothing and relaxing to the mind. Comfortable furniture is also a basic necessity for the employees, especially the furniture which is constantly in use in the office, like office chairs and stools. Around-the-clock internet and all these facilities should be provided. This creates a healthy and a serious environment for work. Important things to be taken care of: canteen with a variety of fresh food, coffee machine in various locations and corners of the room, clean drinking water for the employees. Tea breaks should be given at least 3 or 4 times a day as a breather to the employees. Proper heating and cooling in winters and summers. Facility for lunchrooms. Competitive salaries as compared to the market. Though this seems mainly a function of human resource, public relations have a substantial role to play in this. The idea is to ensure a decent salary for employees. The salary structure should be more or less similar to the competitors. Perks to be provided as well. These days, a lot of additional benefits or fringe benefits are given to the employees, which are a great attraction for them. It could be an all-paid vacation trip for their family, healthcare facilities for them and their family, school for their children, housing colonies, recreational club or parks. To fulfill entertainment needs of the employees, the management could organize melas, cultural nights, parties, get-togethers, picnic, sports meet, annual day functions, and so on. Job security. A hire and fire policy could give rise to insecurity in the hearts of the employees. That is why employees look for stable jobs. It is a great incentive to give them a stable job. Employee should not be made to work with the fear of losing their job all the time. Any tension pertaining to job security could lead to mental tension that will invariably hamper their performance at work. Regular upgradation of employees. Workshops should be organized from time to time to upgrade employees' skill, especially in technical jobs. Upgradation would equip employees to handle the latest and difficult tasks at hand. It would also create an empowered employee whose market value would increase, and this should inherently give him mental, social, and economic satisfaction. Take employees into confidence. Any change in policies, procedures, milestones, achievements, or even breakdown should be clearly and openly discussed with the employees. This is a confidence-building measure which speaks of openness and healthy relationship being developed between the employee and the employer. Share responsibilities to create feelings of appreciation and self-worth. The organization should ensure that the certain well-performing employees should be appreciated from time to time with awards, certificates, and promotions for their great performance. This would make employees feel more responsible towards their work and also feel respected. Their need of being acknowledged is also fulfilled henceforth. In order to communicate freely and openly with employees, companies deploy various tools. Let us look at some of the tools that a public relations officer uses to ensure a two-way dialogue. One of them is oral communication, which is extremely powerful as it is very personalized. Speaking out gives the management a clear feedback about the feelings, beliefs, and reactions to the company's policies and procedure, environment, and positives of the employees. Oral communication by calling employees one-on-one for meetings with the top management. It could also be done by calling formal and informal staff meetings, holding seminars, having group discussions, or even shop floor discussions, which could be done one-on-one. Written communication tools. Written words are given more importance and also are believed as compared to what is being said in thin air. Therefore, written communication tools are used to give out information to employees about the organization or any changes in policies, procedures, or performance appraisals, and so on. The various tools used for written communication are circulars, memos, letters, which are about official announcements, written instructions or orders. This is mainly used for formal communication. But there are other tools which also help employee communication, like house journals, booklets, pamphlets, brochures, newsletters, minutes of the meeting displayed on the notice board, or circulated through the company by emails. Visual communication. Visual communications provide a great deal of identification to the employees in form of advertisements, billboards, posters put up all over the city, create a feeling of identification and bonding in the hearts of the employees. Also, photographs of any new projects, awards, sites, achievements, and so on could be put up in various parts of the company premises or should be given out in media time and time again to create a feeling of pride and inform the employee of the events happening in the company. Audiovisual communication. It could involve the making of corporate films wherein employees are a part of it. The entire infrastructure, machinery, outlet, policies, ideology, etc. is covered in a corporate film. It could be played in the lobby of the organization, or series of the film could be given out to the employees. This gives them the full information about company, and it could also be distributed to customers and shareholders, which helps in branding of the organization. Customer relations. Customer relations are crucial to any organization for their survival depends on the customers. Taking care of customers is a responsibility of the marketing department. But when it comes to handling customer grievances and creating a long-lasting relationship and impact, public relations has a greater and a more valuable role to play. As customers today are aware about their rights, mere marketing and advertising is not enough to handle their growing demands, and they are demanding. So it is here that the public relations officer pitches in to ensure that the new generation customer gets all his requirements fulfilled at the very moment he gets associated with the organization. A long-lasting relationship has to be harnessed, especially with respect to after-sales services and quality that has to be given to the customer. It is for the public relations to ensure that the customer is taken good care of and they are treated well as buyers. In fact, public relations ensure that a defective product or bad service doesn't reach the consumer. Also, adequate warnings are written on the products or announced with the service. After insurance advertisements, there is always an announcement that insurance is a subject matter of solicitation. Public relations ensure the consumer is not overexposed to advertisement. Rather, overselling is checked in every possible way. Any publicity which is exaggerated claims is also checked by public relations, since it can cause negative publicity which is harmful for the image of any organization. The packaging of product is also checked in order to ensure the handling of the product is comfortable. It must also be ensured that the consumer is not hurt by the design of the product. The bond between public relations and customer relations. Public relations officer is the conscience keeper of the organization. One of the primary duty of public relations as for the customer relations is concerned is to effectively handle customer complaints. The complaining customer should ultimately walk out satisfied. In fact, as far as complaint handling is concerned, public relations ensures that every complaint is duly acknowledged. In order to check complaints, sound bookkeeping and record keeping has to be done. A record works as a proof and a checklist for the work which is done. Taking care of grievances in a short time creates trust in the mind of the customers. Quick and genuine responses leads to harnessing fabulous image in the eyes of the general public, shareholders, competitors and industry as such.
When I talk about customer relationship and employee relationship, it also goes beyond your marketing or the way you present or your kind of facilities you give. Beyond that also, there's an aspect of that which is also called public relations. PR, your marketing thing takes care of your external, it takes care of your campaigning, your sales, etc. But the PR of a firm takes care of your internal and external connections and your kind of faith that you develop within an organization. And I think Tata Motors is a completely great example of everything. I'm not here to propagate, to propagate them, but we have seen them operating from generation to generation. So I feel that they are really, really good with it, considering that they have taken care of their employee relationships very well. You have 5 generations over there. They've taken care of their customer relations. The dealers who have been Tata dealers are still Tata dealers, and in fact the only reason I think any Tata dealer would go beyond Tata car is, of course, until unless they're induced or lured. And if you look at the corporate social responsibility area, it's fantastic. It's really, really commendable. They have, by giving 66% of the stake to a trust within corporate, which is a private sector, so that your corporate social responsibility is taken care of, is really, really good. It's neat, it's clean, it's precise.
Tools for customer interactions. A simpler way of getting a clear feedback of customers on the reputation of the company, its working, products, services, is to arrange an open house. An open house gives customers an opportunity to visit and reflect on their understanding of the corporate in question. Another tool for open interaction is informal get-togethers.
During the time, some years back, Tata Motors had launched Magic and Winger, which were their new commercial vehicles, which were in competition with their competitor, which is Mahindra, and other companies as well, which were operating in South. So Tata Motors realized the kind of difficulties that was being faced by the dealers, and there comes a time that when at the end of the day we are all humans. There comes a time when we do not make a profit or something, we really think of switching our dealership. So how do they really launch their entire thing was in a really beautiful and a well planned manner. They went into down south, invited all the dealers over dinner and a musical Broadway, through which they had launched Magic and Winger. So the entire thing, the fun evening of of your dinner and everything, dance, gala, everything started with a presentation wherein the heads talked about the various problems being faced by the dealers, of where they are right now, how much profit are they making, or what they might be facing as a problem, and eventually gave them a solution that, okay, fine, this is what it has happened, but this is now our new thing, and this is how we'll join our hands together and work upon it, and this is how we will do it, and there's nothing to worry about. We are there, we are your company, we know your problem, and we are here to take care of you. And that's how Magic and Winger were launched.
Consumer visits to the production houses harness great trust for the company's reputation. These should be organized at small intervals, time and again. Putting up of suggestion or idea boxes at various outlets and at public places could also get proper information and feedback on the company's endeavors. Having a rendezvous with customers at local fairs and exhibition is also a great idea in keeping up with customer interaction and getting feedbacks. Holding various events, especially on and around festivals, so as to get into direct contact with the customers. This could be done directly or indirectly. For example, Volmita held a quiz contest on television for many years. This quiz showcased intelligent children and propagated for increasing knowledge. But at the same time, public relations do not encourage misleading or false claims by the customers. 6-step structure to handle complaints. A public relation officer first of all listens to the customer. Patiently and effectively puts the point of view of the company. Next, he gives facts and figures to prove his case. After that, he is courteous and patient with difficult customers and provide symbolic atonement in form of a gift or an extra value added service thrown in for free for the customer. Then he closes the case with a solution, take a feedback, and keep the contact details of the customer for future references. It's time for a quick recap. Both employee relations and customer relations in today's competitive and global environment work on many levels. They carve out a company's marketing strategy and at the same time ensure that a long-term bond is created between employees, customer, and the organization. Here, the existing employees are appreciated, pampered, checked, empathized, and provided a congenial environment for their emotional, mental, and intellectual growth. At the same time, potential customers are also dealt with along with valuable present customers to increase their business. The key to harnessing a great relationship with both customer and employees for PR officer is to have a clear, conscious, trustworthy, and genuine interaction with them. This ultimately ensures that the organization's financial health is great. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you and goodbye.